Hey everybody, this is Dr. Maples. Hope you're having a great week. So we're going to get started on our socialization lecture series. Now, socialization is an important idea that we're going to return to time and time again this semester because it explains how we as individuals are socialized to experience our society in a particular way. And we'll explore this from all sorts of different angles, including a lot of new theoretical ideas that I think you'll enjoy. Before we begin, I want to think a little bit about how we've been socialized to identify ourselves. Now, think about the ways that you might introduce yourself to someone or explain who you are. In fact, let's have a quick scratch assignment, no points. Grab a piece of scrap paper and put the numbers 1 through 10 on it. Now, on this piece of paper, I want you to list 10 things that you might say describe who you are, what purpose you serve in society, or how you even understand yourself. There's no wrong answers here, but I want you to list 10 things that you might say identify you. Now go ahead and pause the video for a second and write that. When you're ready, you can unpause the video. Just take care of all those. It's hard to get 10, isn't it? I know. Once you start getting to like 6 or 7, you're like, just trying to think of other things. But that's okay. Let's look through that list and let's try and think about how you identified yourself. Now, some of the things that you might find is that you've actually identified yourself using the ways that your society has chosen to identify you, such as your sex, your gender, maybe even your race. You might have identified yourself in relation to other people by serving a role, such as being a family member. You may have listed desirable characteristics, things that you hope to impress upon other people, like you're very handsome or very pretty. Similarly, too, you may have put in social roles or even jobs, like, for example, on my list, number 1, professor. That's how I describe myself. I'm a professor. You may also have included group memberships. You may have included your race, your national identity. For example, I might write on there that I'm an American. These are all really interesting things because they show how even as individuals, unique individuals at that, we have so many relationships with other people in our society, and we've been socialized to perform certain roles to them. And those, in turn, become part of our identity as an individual. That's socialization in action. Let's get a clear definition of socialization so we have something to work with. Now, socialization is a lifelong process, and I can't stress that enough. It's a lifelong process. It happens from the moment you're born till the moment you're dying. But it's a lifelong process through which people learn the attitudes, values, and behaviors that are appropriate for members of a particular culture. In effect, we are socialized to understand how to behave. This is what I should do. This is what I should not do. And it's all based on the cultural backgrounds that we might come from. For example, I've been socialized to hold the door open for people. That's just something that you do in the South. It's just a norm, and my mom taught me to do that from when I was like 5 years old. And I remember holding the door open for some older guy at a Kmart one day, and he gave me a quarter, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I haven't gotten any money for opening the door for people since, but nonetheless, it's a very cool idea. And it's part of what's normal for me. What are some of the things that are normal to you? How have you maybe been socialized to feel those are normal? Likewise, are you being socialized to feel certain things are normal, but maybe deep inside you don't feel that way? In fact, college is one of those periods of time in which we sometimes question the things that we've been taught. And that's okay. We're allowed to do that. So socialization is a lifelong, important process, helping us understand how we think certain things are normal and what that means for our individual experiences. Now I'm going to stop my lecture there. We've got a whole bunch of ideas, and I want to make sure we have shorter lectures so you can really help to focus in on these. Socialization, again, something we're going to think about all semester long. And to give you a hint, this is something that C. Wright Mills was thinking about too. When he thought about that relationship between the individual and the stuff happening around us, history and biography, those individual decisions, history, all those things happening around us. Socialization was part of that history. Socialization shapes so many things from an early day of how we experience our society, whether it's feeling education is an important thing or that we're expected to do certain tasks or behave certain ways. And it's interesting, too, because if we feel those socializations and the norms have to stay with us, we'll keep them for the rest of our days. And that may not be to your advantage. So it's something that we're going to come back to time and time again. But in the meantime, if you have questions, if you have concerns, you know where to find me. Reach out to me. I love talking about socialization, and I love talking about sociology, so I'm definitely excited to get this lecture underway. If you have any questions or need anything, you know where to find me. Take care.